What is Café Mocha? Café Mocha is experts, celebrities.
What's up? This is Bell Biv DeVoe.
Yours truly, Idris Elba.
This is Fantasia.
This is In Vogue.
This is India Ari.
So much more. All from a woman's perspective.
What flavor are you, baby?
This is Café Mocha.
This is Café Mocha celebrating 15 years of radio from a woman's perspective with Emmy Award-winning talk show host and comedian Loni Love, hip-hop pioneer Yoyo, and me, I'm Angelique, the producer. This week, Keke Palmer and SZA hit Netflix with their movie One of Them Days. Vanessa Bell Calloway also stars, and she's our guest. But first up, we're going to chit-chat a little bit. Hey, guys.
You know what? I finally got Aspire on my television set.
Woohoo!
One late night, I was watching it, and guess who popped up?
Yo-yo.
Yo-Yo. And her cooking show, Cooking with Yo-Yo.
Yo-yo.
I didn't watch it for her. I watched it because Sanai was on, her daughter.
Oh, goodness, my goose baby. Listen, we just wrapped up 20 episodes, season 2, just wrapped up. I just left Brooklyn. We did 1 month in Jersey and filmed in New York. And I enjoyed it. 20 episodes, guerrilla filming.
Okay.
Shout out to everybody who came by. Tobias stopped by. We had some Naughty by Nature members. We had some of my friends from the industry, Dita, Bixa Beauty, who does this big thing in Africa with her cosmetic line. We had Mama Mia. My mother was on set. Mama Mia tore the house down, Loni. Listen, she was so excited. They'll say in action and she'll start, well, this is Mama Mia with the spicy meat. They said, we need Yo-Yo to start it. Can we start Can we start that again? And as soon as we get started again, as soon as I intro, she jump in and say, and this is what I'm making. I'm Mama Mia with the spicy meatballs. I'm Yo-Yo where I'm how Yo-Yo got her string. I'm looking at her like, oh my God, my mother's taking over the cooking show.
Right.
I love it. Doesn't look like you're shooting it guerrilla style. It feels warm and at home. And the food looks delicious.
Downright delicious.
Downright delicious.
I finally caught it too because Aspire was, you know how they give you the free weekend sometimes? I had a free weekend and I taped them. I was like, look at my girl, you look beautiful. The kitchen is like Loni said, it's so warm and inviting and you look good and you're doing a great job. You do a great job.
You know what I love about Aspire is it's a new network that their slogan is see yourself here. And so me not being a chef, but loving the ability to cook in front of people and to share my testimony. I mean, Aspire is for all of us, of course, us being radio from a woman's perspective. And congratulations on our new Gracie. We'll talk about that later. Woo! But it is one of those stations where you literally see yourself here. And I'm so glad to be a part of it. So glad to have my families and friends. And of course, I talked about Café Mocha so much. So please, listeners, tune in and make sure you hear what I have to say about my co-host from Café Mocha.
When does the new season start, yo?
We're starting out they're going to start running some prep around June, July, and then towards the end of the year, you should start seeing some new episodes.
That'll be great. So we'll be on the lookout for it for Miss Yo-Yo. What?
I saw Loni. I mean, I always see Loni on stage doing her stand-up, but she was in this play with Jane Lynch, you know, the short-haired lady from Glee. But Loni was so great. She was so cute. I was so proud. It was just like a bunch of neighborhood families, you know, fussing about their kids and, you know, dealing with relationship stuff and marriage stuff. And I was just so proud. She was the funniest one on the stage. Yes, funnier than Jane Lynch.
Well, thank you for coming all the way to Santa Barbara. It was called Parents in Chain, and it was a bunch of stars from television like Jane Lynch, and it was just a wonderful week to get back out on stage and do a play. I haven't done a play in a long time, so it was really nice to get those chops. You know, Denzel is not the only person opening on a stage play. I was too, lady.
The Denzel tickets are, you know, they're kind of expensive, but them tickets to Loni Lonnie's show. I don't know, affordable.
So we're all doing our thing. And also, Angelique, let's catch up with you and let's congratulate both of you guys, including the show, on what is it, our fourth Gracie Award?
I have no idea.
Woo!
We racking them up.
It's about our fourth Gracie Award. And for those of you who don't know, Gracie Awards is presented by the group Alliance for Women in Media. And we won for the Jasmine Crockett interview that Jasmine Crockett so graciously gave us. And I just want to tell people how important this is because there are honorable mentions for Gracies, right? But we actually won the award. So it wasn't like, oh, you guys get like an honorable mention. It's no, we actually won the Gracie. And actually, this is our fifth Gracie Award now. And so I just want to say congratulations to the whole team at Café Mocha because everybody, from our editor, Chris, Angelique puts it together. Yo-Yo hits us with all the topics and the singing and
The laughter and the joy.
Listen,
yeah, it's a really good mix. But to be able in these times to be recognized as women in media when we are one of the few African American female-led shows on the radio. And we couldn't do this without the support of our listeners. We thank every one of our affiliates. We thank you for it.
Oh, shout out to Nashville.
Yes, Nashville. We are number one on Nashville. So
number one in Nashville.
Thanks for supporting us.
Definitely.
We were so excited to get to Nashville, and finally get on the air there. So we appreciate the love. And I have no doubt we're going to be out there soon, hang out and
Nashville is one of my favorite party places.
They do not play when it comes to Nashville. As a matter of fact, I have a tour starting in August called the Comedy and Song Tour, where I'm going to be at all the different city wineries on the East Coast, starting from New York. We will be in Nashville in late August. So we're going to do New York, Chicago, Atlanta, of course, Nashville, and it's called the Comedy and Song Tour, Loni Love at the City Wineries. I'm going to be with my man, St. Aubin, the Broadway star, who's also was on Yo-Yo's.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Listen, he was in Los Angeles, stopped by, got himself something to eat. We talked about you guys and our love, and he talked about what's going on with the new show and touring, and he sung some beautiful, and he can cook.
Yeah.
And he can cook. The energy is all I need because all I need is somebody to walk in the kitchen and raise the roof.
Well, we're doing so much at Café Mocha, and we, again, just a reminder, we have our First Look Film Festival that will be happening in November at Howard University. You can check out everything that we're doing if you go to cafemocharadio.com, go to lonilove.com.
Yo-Yo Fearless on all social media platforms. Wait, you didn't mention my name for this winery stuff. What's going on? You didn't cut me off the gig?
No.
I'm on the gig.
Working that out.
I'm on the gig. Okay, so Loni left me out, but you guys come to these wineries because I'm gonna pop up and show her.
Wait, if Yo-Yo's there, I need to be there too. It's only right.
I'm about to pop out and show Loni. It's not enough. It's not enough.
Y'all ain't got to do no fancy contract for me. Loni, I just want a bed to sleep in and some food to eat. A couple glasses of wine.
Well,
if you could find me,
that.
Listen, and living in Los Angeles, you just need to pay your DWP bill. Water and power.
Y'all, it's Café Mocha.
On the way, Vanessa Bell Calloway from the movie One of Them Days.
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo. I'm Angelique. Actress Vanessa Bell Calloway is on the line. Welcome back to the show.
Hey, how are you, ladies?
We're good. We want to talk about your latest project, which just dropped on Netflix. It's called Just One of Them Days, starring Keke Palmer and SZA. For people who didn't spend money and go see it back in January like they were supposed to. What's the movie about?
Well, I think that everybody's going to really be sorry that they didn't see it first up because it became a huge hit, as we all know. But it's a female buddy movie, and that's what I personally like about it because we've seen the black male buddy movies, but this is a female version of these young women who just having one of them days, and to watch their day and how they get through their series of problems that they're faced with to get through this day. It's just really funny. And when I tell you that Kiki and SZA, the chemistry, and it's funny, I said this when I saw the movie before it was released. I said, my God, SZA did a very good job. I said, and their chemistry is great. And that's exactly what all the reviews said about their chemistry and what a good job SZA did. Yeah.
It was a really good movie. I really enjoyed it. And I'm happy to see Issa in her producing role and everything. This was SZA's acting debut. Kiki grew up in front of the camera. Tell us about the set. Was it fun? Was there a lot of improvising on the set?
It was both. It was a lot of fun because, when you shoot a movie, I think Lawrence had, I want to say like 22 days to shoot or 24 days. It was something crazy like that to shoot the whole movie. So it's fast paced, but it's fun. It was summertime, so it was warm. So everybody was in that summer vibe was going on. And we shot actually literally at, in the jungle, in an apartment complex in the jungle. And that's where the movie takes place, in the jungle, in an apartment complex in the jungle in LA. So that was very cool about it too. And it was a lot of fun. And yeah, when you always improvise, what they do is you do it the way it's written, and then on the next take or the take after, they'll be like, okay, now do this. Or like Issa's good for like, okay, say this now, throw this in, so we were always adjusting and just trying to make it the best it could be. And then if you say something, if something comes out to you and you kind of get a vibe and you want to do something, they let you roll with it, and it may make it, it may not, but very open to being collaborative, which I like to work that way.
Now, being a friend of different generations, how was that? You've been in the game for a long time. Do you feel like you need to prep, or do you just go in and give more, receiving more for those who feel like, okay, from singing to theater to on the screen, do you feel like you have to give more?
It varies. It depends on the project, the role, the company you keep. It varies. But you always want to give your best. At least I do. I always want to give as much as I need to, or more, to make sure that I'm doing a good job. And when you get there and you get a chance to meet other people, and like you said, generational, different ages. Everybody has their process, their methods, and their what they have been able to accomplish up to that point, whatever age they are. And then they have their goals beyond that, what they want to accomplish. So you get into great conversations. They, sometimes ask for advice, or what do you think about this? So, you get your bond becomes closer because you get a chance to really talk to people when you're working. When the camera's not rolling, you get a chance to really to get to know each other. So it just varies. All that is different for each role. Is different for each. Are you in the movie, the whole movie, or are you in the movie, just some of the movie? It just depends how much you're on set, how much you're on set with the different people. So it varies.
Vanessa, tell us about how you got your start and where you grew up from, getting into this crazy business of Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, and I got my start at the Caramel House, which is the first African-American regional theater in the country. It's a very special place to me, and that's where I lived very much in the inner city of Cleveland. And that's where I started dancing. I was a concert dancer first, and that was my first love. So I started taking dancing classes, and by the time I was age 16, I was in Caramel's dance company. And we did local events around Cleveland, but we also traveled. And my stepdad had to go with me because I was a minor, but dance was my first love. So that's how I got into the business. And then after I went to college and got my Bachelor of Fine Arts, concentration in dance from Ohio University, which I'm very mad at right now. I mean, that's another topic. But I got my Bachelor of Fine Arts from them. And I used to go to New York in the summers because I got awarded an Alvin Ailey Scholarship after my freshman year of college. And so for 4 years, every summer, I would go to Alvin Ailey, and in Christmas time, because once you get a scholarship, you're there. So I got my first scholarship, and I would literally travel to New York Christmas break, and I would travel to New York every summer, and I would dance at Alvin Ailey's. And then when I graduated, I moved to New York, and I danced with Alvin Ailey's, and in the dance company, I was studying there. I didn't dance with the company, but I was studying there. And then I started dancing with other small companies on the side, but I had to work, so I was a waitress because I was broke, poor, and hungry. So I waitressed, and then eventually I left A-Lee's because it just, I wanted to pursue other things. And I was getting off of work at 2:00 in the morning. I had to be at ballet at 8. And that started getting rough. As I always tell my girls, I didn't have Tony and Vanessa. I didn't have no money. I had to like really pay for my own way.
Right.
So then that led into, I started dancing with small companies, and then I started doing Broadway, and I started doing TV, and the next thing I know, I did All My Children, and they wrote my character out of the soap opera because I was messing with Debbie and Angie, which was Darnell Williams and Debbie Morgan. I was messing up their marriage. And that's back then, we're talking about the 80s when they didn't, like if a black character was in a show and you had to get written out, you had to leave the whole town because they didn't have nowhere else for you to go. Like other people would just, other people would just go and mess up somebody else's marriage, But because we were black and I was messing up their marriage, when they wanted them to get back together, my character had to leave town because there was no place else for me to go, because they just weren't really that integrated on soap operas. So, but that was kind of like, you just have to go with what God blesses you with, because that was a huge blessing. Because what it did is it made me come out to California, because I was like, forget y'all, I'm gonna follow my character Yvonne, because she moved out to California. I said, I'm gonna move out there with her too and see what I can do.
Wow.
And I bought a one-way ticket and came out here, and the rest is history. And that's where my career really took off, when I came out here, because I had done Broadway, I had done off-Broadway, I had done soap operas, I had done commercials. So when I got out here, I had a pretty decent resume, for somebody my age, especially my Broadway resume. They were very interested in my theater work, and I was a professional dancer, and I sang good enough, So I was able to come out here and just really expand and grow. So that's basically how it started.
Café Mocha, Loni Love, Yoyo, I'm Angelique on the line, Vanessa Bell Calloway. We're talking a bit about your career, and you mentioned soap operas. I mean, you can decline to answer, but have you seen the new black soap opera, Beyond the Gates?
I have not. I have not. I want to. I just have not had time yet.
All black cast, wealthy.
That's great.
Generational wealth, which brings me to the Black Hamptons. Do you know if that's coming back or not?
Well, yeah, I was going to say that when I saw the commercial, I said, oh, this reminds me of the Black Hamptons, our show on BET. No, unfortunately, we got caught up in that BET sale or whatever was going on over there. And we got part of the chopping block, but that's okay. I got Vince Staples season 2 coming out in October. We just finished shooting that, and that is hysterical. That is going to be, I can't wait for season 2 of Vince Staples to come out, because I think people are going to love it. That's great.
I want to ask you about Coming to America and that iconic part that you had and that feeling of having that iconic, hilarious part. Can you give us a little flavor of what it was like shooting that?
Well, I'll tell you this. One thing I learned from that is, like, you never know what God has in store for you. So when you just follow your path and just be obedient and stop trying to be in places that you ain't supposed to be, good things happen. And the reason I say that is because I didn't audition for Imani. I didn't want that part. I wanted the Lisa role. Everybody in town wanted the Lisa role because it was the bigger role. We all auditioned for that part. And after I read with the casting director, and they, had me meet John Landis, he wanted me to read for Princess Imani. And I was a little disappointed in that meeting when he said, "Would you go read this?" And I was like, "I don't want to read this. I want to be Lisa." So I went out into the hallway, and I had to, just on my feet, I had to come back in and read that part for him. And then I was invited to meet Eddie Murphy and all the producers, and I had to read that part. And, I got the job, and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this part, but I really kind of wanted the bigger role, because who wouldn't, And years later, it's the gift that keeps on giving. I'm so happy that I did that part, and that was for me, that was my part that God had sanctioned. And, at the time, I was like, I wanted what I thought was the bigger, better part, but for me, that ended up being the bigger, better part. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes you can't control everything. You just got to go with it and just trust it. And that experience taught me that lesson. Just to have faith and know that God got you. Just go with it. You can't control everything.
It's Café Mocha. We are talking to Vanessa Bell Calloway. I want to talk about the Vince Staples show for the people who haven't seen it yet. That's on Netflix as well. He's a rapper, right?
He's a rapper, yeah. And what makes it so funny is these a rapper who's very famous in his right. People know him that know him, but the people that don't know him don't know him.
Right.
That's what makes it funny because he's like kind of famous, kind of sort of really famous, but kind of depending on what group you in, you may not know him. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's not exactly a household name, but people turn out for him. So that's what's interesting. And that's part of what the show's about. He plays himself. Mm-hmm. It's hysterical. Last season was funny, but this season, I mean, I can't wait for people to see it because if they go, I was laughing out loud when we was doing it, laughing when I was reading it. So I said, well, if it transfers over to the television the way we did it, it's going to be, it's hysterical. I know people are going to love it.
Well, for the people who haven't seen it and don't know who he is, what is season 1 about? Why should they tune in? It's hilarious.
Well, like I said, you kind of have, it's different. It's a different vibe. It's not like your typical, it's not like, it's a comedy, but it's not like shot like, oh, comedy, ha, 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 ha. It's humor, but you gotta get the humor. And they should watch it just, because it's a black show. If you black shit, watch it. Support us.
That's true. That's true.
we gotta support each other these days, y'all. Y'all know what's going on in this country. But it's just a different style of comedy. And like I said, what's funny, if you don't know him, he's a rapper. That's even more reason to watch it. If you're a fan of his, you're gonna watch it. Because he's famous, but he kind of ain't famous. So it's kind of like almost famous, but not really. And all the stuff that he goes through, and he's from the hood too. Yeah. So he's from Long Beach originally. So all the stuff that goes on with that and the family members, and when somebody halfway making, everybody wants your money and stuff. So it's a lot of elements. So I just say tune in, just check us out, and then when you check out season 1. So when season 2 drops, you'll know what's going on.
How do you keep yourself so into the game, like knowing all the lingo and what's going on today, being in this game for almost 4 decades or more?
Yeah. Do I know the lingo? Okay, thank you.
I said, how do you learn the lingo? I mean, I know you have kids. Do you take that in consideration when you're working with this new generation? I mean, that's 4 generations. Sometimes I don't know who someone is, what they're talking about, and I have to ask many questions.
Well, I just, I do have kids, and I just I speak to them, and I mean, I like being around young people, and my kids are great, and they have a lot of friends. My house is that house that everybody comes to. They party here. They come over here at dinner. We just hang out. So I'm around a lot of young adults, and they keep me current, but also just, I like life. I like being out and being in it, and I don't know how I'm supposed to act for my age, so it's still confusing to me because, you feel like, no, you really is, because you feel like, I feel like I'm like maybe early 50s, I don't know. And then I look at myself, I go, yeah, but you look a little older than that, Vanessa. But I don't know how I'm supposed to act because I just do me.
You know what, Yoyo and Angelique, I've hung out with Vanessa Bell Calloway many a times. And when I say she is the life of the party, everybody knows her. You don't hear not one bad thing about her. It's
sweetest.
Yeah. I mean, it just gives you that feeling of, this is what Hollywood, especially Black Hollywood, should be about, and being in that, season. Definitely.
Thank you. I just try to, treat people like I want to be treated. And just, I think that my mother taught me something years ago when I was little, and I can never say it right, but she said you get more flies with honey than you can with
Yeah. Yeah.
And she also taught me that it takes a lot of energy to be nasty. When you get older, you understand it takes a lot of energy to be mean and cantankerous and annoyed with everybody. That takes a lot of energy to wake up every day mad about something or mad at someone and calling your friends and gossiping about this and you're never happy. That takes a lot of energy. It's so much easier just to choose happiness and all who get you, and all who don't, you pray for them and you just keep it moving. I go for the easier route.
It looks like you're sleeping in the lap of happiness. You're laying with love and you're living with joy.
One of Them Days, currently streaming on Netflix. We've got more with Vanessa Bell Calloway coming up on Café Mocha.
We're at Café Mocha Radio. Socially savvy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Serving up more Café Mocha on the way.
That's the kind of girl I need down with my
Standing in solidarity from a woman's perspective. It's Café Mocha.
Café Mocha celebrating 15 years. Vanessa Bell Calloway is our guest. She stars alongside Keke Palmer in One of Them Days. Let's get back into it.
I saw this big celebration in Los Angeles months back for your birthday. Happy belated birthday. You look amazing. Amazing.
Thank
I saw
you.
your pictures with D Blank. Oh my God. I mean,
Yeah, I did that in January. I shot that in January when I was in town promoting One of Them Days. But
you're a
I
new
love him. I always
influencer.
like to get photo shoot.
You're a new influencer. I mean, you the top of the line. I see you on Instagram and I'm looking at your pictures. And then I just went to just check your age. I said, no way. No way.
Yeah.
No way.
That's what it is. That's a lie they told me. They told me I was born March 20th, 1957.
Because can I tell you something? You look amazing. You look amazing.
You know, in this industry, you got to stay young anyway. But I also, I want to know, how do you balance the industry and your personal life with your family? Give us a few nuggets about that.
Well, you start that early on. Like, I was very blessed, first of all, to have the perfect partner for me. When I met my husband, I mean, it was just, we just fell right into sync immediately. A year and 8 months later, we were married. We went on a one date, and literally 8 months later, we were married. And then 2 years after that, we had our first child. So it just, that was the first thing. I chose the right partner for me. And together we built our world. And he's always been so encouraging and supportive. And I know, like, sometimes with my little one, my youngest daughter, who was she was my koala baby bear. And I would cry when I had to leave out of town to leave her, and she cried. We both be crying. I'd be crying and she crying, right? And he's like, girl, you don't go get your butt on that plane. That's like, you better go on, get that, go ahead. And not like because I had to work, because I didn't. I chose to work. But he'd be like, you better get your butt on that plane, because he wanted me to have a life. He wanted me to be happy. And when you start like that, like, I was on Broadway for 6 months last year, but my family was so supportive, and my daughters now, obviously, who are grown, even though they don't live with us anymore, it still affected them that I was gone for 6 months. And my daughter got married, my youngest daughter, so I came home for the wedding, obviously, but I literally was gone, not home. And it affects everybody when I'm gone, because I'm the mother. I'm the one that brings everybody together. Mm-hmm. And especially for my husband, it was a huge sacrifice. But my family's willing to make that sacrifice because they know I love what I do, and they love me, and they want me to be happy. So that's the balance. You get we got Team Ashley, Team Allie, Team Tony, Team Vanessa. So whoever's turn it is, we all go and support that person for whatever it is they're trying to accomplish, And it was my turn, and everybody really, my family showed up. They showed up for me 100%. And it was a great, great time.
It's Café Mocha. On the line, Vanessa Bell Calloway. The movie One of Them Days is currently streaming on Netflix. And I wanted to ask you about your husband, because we over here Googling. He's an anesthesiologist? He's like a doctor?
Yes, he's an anesthesiologist and a businessman. We have businesses as well.
So many Hollywood people link up with the other Hollywood people. Were you tempted to do that? Did you ever have like little brushes?
I'm not going to let you finish that. Not at all. Never wanted to date an actor. Not at all. Was never tempting. Didn't look for him. Didn't want him. No.
Smart.
I thought you were asking, was she the life of the party? Like Loni said, of course she is. She is Miss
No, she was asking if I ever dated an actor, or that's what she was getting to. Did I ever want to hook up with an actor? And I just, you ain't say the rest of that breath, honey, for something positive.
Sorry.
That's nosy Angelique. That's
her.
I
ain't saying nothing's wrong with it. It just wasn't what I wanted. It wasn't for me.
Oh my goodness. That's why she stayed married. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
I have a very regular life, you guys. I mean, my house is nice, but it's very humble. It's a nice house. It's just regular. It's not a mansion or on a estate behind gates and It's, I live in a neighborhood. I have regular friends who have no connection to the industry. And then I have a lot of my industry friends. And we have parties and dinner parties, and a little bit of some of everybody might be at my house. But I live a very regular life. I go to the grocery store. I go to my cleaners. I go downtown to get my own flowers and go shopping and do what I need to do for me. I go here. I go there. It's very regular. In my neighborhood, the people know me. And they aren't like, oh, my God, they get Vanessa Bell Calloway. I'll be in the line at the grocery store and somebody will ask me, and we'll talk, strike up a conversation. All the cashiers at the Ralphs know me. The people at the cleaners know me. I live a very regular life. I promise you. Nothing like glitz and glam about my everyday life. You should see how I look right now.
But to me, that's the best way it's a great balance of, you're not getting all caught up in Hollywood, but you still live a good life. You know how many people wish that they had that type of life where they had the family, where they had the career, and you were able to find what fit you instead of, like, oh, I have to live in a mansion because I'm on TV. You don't have to do that. You found your happiness.
Yes, I did. And I love my house. I love my house. I have the best backyard ever, so, but you're right. You put in what makes you happy, and that's what I've been able to find.
Well, you make us happy, Miss Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Oh, thank you.
This is
and Loni, next time the drink's on me, girl. We're going to do something different, but the drink's on me next time.
Wait, you said Loni saved your life. Tell me about that.
Girl, we was at the screening, and I was so parched, I was about to pass out. And I had taken an Uber, and I just did that, just thirsty. And it was the line, it was slow, and she was up there, and I finally kind of got close, and she just got my drink and paid for it and saved me. So next time, the drink's on me. We're going to do something a little stronger.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for joining us today, Vanessa Bell Calloway.
Thank you, ladies.
Catch her in One of These Days on Netflix, and The Vince Staples Show also on Netflix.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes,
thank you, ladies. Have a great day. I love that. You guys have a good time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The HBCU First Look Film Festival is looking for college filmmakers. You can win up to $5,000 and get exposure to some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Go to hbcufirstlook.com, hbcufirstlook.com to get information and submit your film.
Here's your dose of espresso. Strong, hot news now.
This is the Espresso. Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey just spent 25 hours straight warning everybody to wake up.
This is not right or left. It is right or wrong. This is a moral moment in America. What are we going to do?
His 25-hour speech on the Senate floor is the longest in modern history. Elon Musk gave out million-dollar checks in Wisconsin trying to sway the election in that state.
I think all voters in Wisconsin should be concerned about this, about somebody coming in and trying to buy a seat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
And it didn't work. The liberal candidate won. And in theaters this weekend, a movie called Freaky Tale starring Jay Ellis from Insecure. It's kind of about NBA legend Sleepy Floyd.
Sleepy Floyd scored 29 points in the fourth quarter of a playoff game against the Los Angeles Lakers. That really did happen. In the film, Floyd becomes a target of a heist and ultimately seeks revenge. Boy, does he seek revenge.
That's the Espresso.
This is Café Mocha. Radio from a woman's perspective.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yoyo. I'm the producer, Angelique. Lots of good stuff on TV. But the thing I want to talk about first is the new black soap opera, Beyond the Gates. Procter & Gamble is sponsoring it like they have sponsored soap operas from the beginning of time. Which is kind of great. But I'm excited because this is our first black soap in ages. Stars Tamara Tooney and Clifton Davis. And it is a true soap opera with all these dramatic, ridiculous women. And this one stole my husband. And, I'm digging it. I watch it not live, but I watch it on Paramount Plus.
Oh, wow.
So,
well, this was an initiative between CBS and the NAACP. So this is their first television initiative to bring more faces of color to television. And during the NAACP Image Awards, I was able to meet Clifton Davis. So, I grew up with him, watching him on Amen and, all this.
Mm-hmm.
So he's still charismatic, and everyone is so excited. And it's been getting really good responses from people. So we'll see, if they can continue with that, but it's definitely something that everyone is excited about. Also on Paramount Plus and CBS, you have Morris Chestnut
Whoop,
as
whoop.
Watson. I love that.
I love the show. First of all, I love anytime Morris Chestnut gets a lead role in any TV show. I'm excited for him. But this is like, I don't like medical dramas, but this show is about the mysteries of ailment. So it's not really about medicine. It's really about the crazy stuff that happens in our body that he has to hunt down what actually happened. So I like that one. And I'm
Yeah,
watching now
and he's
regularly.
so good at it. So, and it's good to see him again in a lead role. We
Yeah.
also have on Prime Video, Laverne Cox and George Wallace have a cute little comedy called Clean Slate. And it's so nice to see George. I saw him the other night for this BET feature. And he's just so excited. He's out there. He's working. Both him and Laverne Cox are so excited about this series that they have. And so you can catch it on Prime Video. It's called Clean Slate. Also on Apple TV Plus, you have my man, Brian Tyree Henry. It's called Dope Thief. And
It looks good. It looks good.
whatever Brian does is going to be top notch. So,
Isn't that crazy? I mean, he's like the dude from Atlanta.
Yeah.
The TV show, and he has blown up. What wasn't he Oscar nominated last year?
He was Oscar nominated. He was also in the film with Ryan Destiny, based on Clarissa Shields' life story. So he does it all. He's the ultimate. He's that come up actor.
Want a little more of our flavor? Stay right there. It's Café Mocha.
It's Café Mocha with Loni Love, Yo-Yo. I'm the producer, Angelique. Lots of good stuff on TV. Let's get back into it.
Also, you can see Sterling K. Brown in his new show that's getting a lot of buzz called Paradise.
It's called Paradise. It's on Hulu. Really good show, mystery show. He plays security for the president. And it has a feeling like, stuff we've seen, but it's not like anything you've seen because they live in like a fake world. I don't know. It's a good show. Hulu,
Definitely.
Paradise.
And you still have your coming back on Sundays on CBS, our girl Queen Latifah on The Equalizer. You also have on Prime Video the final season of Harlem, season 3. So you can go check that out. And The Godfather of Harlem, season 4 is returning in April on MGM Plus.
I love that show. Forrest Whitaker.
You got some good stuff that's happening out here, and a different variety of
Exactly. Whatever you want. You know what I'm saying?
You still have a few black comedies too. You have The Neighborhood with Cedric. You also have Papa's House, which
cute.
is with Damon Wayans
and
Damon
1 and
Wayans
2.
Jr. That's on CBS. You have Abbott Elementary,
Yeah.
of course. So you still have some. You have a nice little mix, and we just want you guys to know about that there is television for us out there. You might have to search a little bit, but it's definitely out there. And
we have to watch it. We have to support it. We have to, promote it on social media. We're quick to tear stuff down, but it's also important to build stuff up. Sometimes, even if I don't like something, I'll still give it some spins, watch a few episodes just to let somebody know, the people that's writing the checks, let them know we are watching, we are here, and make some more. Make some more black shows, movies, and whatever not.
Definitely. And shout out to my girl, Natasha Rothwell. She
had her
you
own
talking
show.
about, yeah, she
But
had her
she's
own show.
also like the lead in season 3 of White Lotus on HBO.
Yeah.
So hello.
Yeah.
But go ahead and talk about her other show real quick.
The other show was called How to Die Alone. It was on Hulu. It was part of the Onyx Collective. Onyx Collective is like this Black production company that works with other studios to try to bring, creative Black voices. And this was one of their first comedies that was led by a Black female. It was Natasha, and it was just a heartbreak to see that she only got one season. But they're going to try to push it to another studio if they can. But also, she's on White Lotus, and like you said, it's like she's like the lead. So it's great to see her doing that.
And like the only Black person, right?
Yeah, it's like you just be sitting out there in the island by yourself. Oh, but we got Black TV, and
That's
this
right.
is Café Mocha.
If you haven't already, check out One of Them Days starring Keke Palmer, SZA, and Vanessa Bell Calloway. It's streaming on Netflix. If you want to hear the full conversation, check out the podcast at mochapodcastnetwork.com. That's mochapodcastnetwork.com. I'm Angelique, along with Loni Love and Yoyo. Until next time, you can find us on all platforms at Café Mocha Radio. Café Mocha is a production of Miles Ahead Broadcasting in partnership with Super Radio. Executive producer Sheila Eldridge. For comments, booking, or more information, visit cafemocharadio.com.